Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome to tea time. And check out my, this is not my mug. I'm a little bit jealous. This is my, this is Foster's Christmas mug that he got. It's some of you who might be Star Wars fans might know the Mandalorian series, but it's one of those heat changing mugs, right? Like when you pour the tea in it, then the picture changes. Anyway, he's at school, so I'm enjoying my tea in his Christmas mug, and I'm having what is this one called? This one is cinnamon apple.
Yes.
I don't know if I featured this one before, but it's a nice flavor, cinnamon apple. It's from Stash. Then you can see that there. It's a warm, spicy blend of chamomile, cinnamon, and crisp apple flavor, and it's yeah, it's nice.
We have some teas that we bought at Christmas, so we're just trying to use them up. We actually had leftovers, so I think this is one of them because it's very kind of festive-y tea.
Can I?
Yeah.
I'm going to say one more thing. I got a. I'm not going to go grab the book, but I got a book from someone special over Christmas about apple cider vinegar, and there's been lots of positives, and I've been learning more about apple cider vinegar. But I have been. We do enjoy some kombucha. But I do, over the past week, I've been trying a little bit of apple cider vinegar right in the kombucha, and not today, but I had one of these teas yesterday, and I put a little bit of apple cider vinegar right in with the apple cinnamon tea, and it was really nice. So anyway, just a side note, apple cider vinegar has some great benefits. Maybe I'll share that book next week and talk about it. But,
yeah.
Go ahead.
And well, I was going to say, because you've been using so much apple cider vinegar from that book, I decided to try to make my own apple cider vinegar. So it's basically fermented apples. So I have that sitting on the counter.
Yeah, I can see them.
Yeah. So it's, should I go get it?
Yeah, go get the apple cider. Yeah, so this is just a small little book, but someone just referencing through some scientific studies, some of the benefits of apple cider vinegar, which is really cool.
Yeah, so these are my fermenting apples. So it's basically, we were making apple crisp one day, and I just took the leftover of the apples and I put them in.
The skins.
It's the skins and the core. Yeah, and I put them in here with some water and some sugar. So they've been sitting here for a while. I've got them all submerged, just like you would do with sauerkraut, kind of keep everything submerged so it doesn't get moldy. So I tasted it yesterday, definitely starting to ferment. So less sugar, more vinegar. So now it's supposed to change color. It's supposed to change to that like brownie color. So I'm just waiting for that. But anyway, I'll keep tasting it every day.
That much green in it, it might be harder to tell.
It's getting there.
Anyway,
it's definitely getting there. Okay.
But yeah, so there's lots of benefits for apple cider vinegar for like digestion and good with your like on your skin too. But we'll get back to that another time. Let's what tea have you got today, Tricia?
So today I have a tea, and it's called a Pitta soothing tea. So if you remember from last week, I talked about I was digging in a little bit more into Ayurveda and reading lots of books. So this company called Rasa, it's actually, it's a Canadian company. She was based out of Peterborough, but has recently moved to Quebec. But she has her own line of Ayurveda products. So this is a Pitta soothing tea. If you know what your dosha is, my dosha is Pitta Vata. So I have a lot of fire, I have a lot of heat, and sometimes it needs to be tampered down a little bit. So this is a tea that has tulsi and rose and hibiscus, so a couple of herbs that are good for just kind of balancing that pitta dosha. So that's what I'm having today. So I'll put the link to their website in the description, and they have some really great stuff. They've got lots of teas, they've got lots of drink mixes, so like turmeric milks and coffees, like a dandelion root kind of coffee. They also have lots of skincare, so oils and natural scrubs. We got our tongue scraper from that company as well, because it's a copper tongue scraper. I've gotten a water bottle from them. Yeah, lots of stuff. So anyway, go check it out. And it's nice to kind of support them. And when you get your package, I just ordered some stuff from them. It comes in a box, and then in the box is your stuff, but it's all so beautifully packaged. Like she has, you always get a little, we don't have any.
It's usually like a piece of cedar or something.
Cedar wrapped with lavender, and then a nice handwritten note just for supporting. So it's always fun to get these boxes too. So anyway, cool. So that's what I got today.
So that's tea, and it tastes fine, yummy.
like rose. Tastes kind of flowery, has some flower notes to it. So yeah.
Cool. And you've got what's coming up? You've got a program that kicked off this week.
Yeah, my 6-week group program we started last night. So we had our first meeting last night. So everybody's ready on Monday night. Yeah. So everybody's ready to go. So I'm happy and excited to lead these women through this 6-week program. Each week we have a different habit that we focus on. So we start with sugar because I feel it's the most important. And there's a lot of one-on-one. So, I'm going to go into their journals. I'm going to look and see what they're eating and just make suggestions as we go and just try to support these women as best as I can over the next 6 weeks. So it's always fun when that starts off. So that's what I have going on, but I am working on a webinar, a free webinar, which is going to come out in a couple of weeks. And it's all about consistency. So a lot of times we have good intentions with our health journey, but we lose track and it's this lack of consistency. So so I'm going to talk about some consistency skills that you can use to help keep you going in the right direction.
And I've been noticing you're doing still lots of yoga.
Yes,
almost daily.
Yeah.
Do you want to share any of that? Or are you doing like hathas or like fast or slow or totally just whatever comes by the day?
I'm doing whatever I feel like doing in the day. So yesterday my digestion was off. I had if you know this or not, I have a couple of flex meals a week, and I had a flex meal on Friday night that just did not sit with me well all weekend. So yesterday I tried to do something that was a bit more gentler, that was going to help with my digestion, which it did, which is great. Today I felt like fantastic. So I was like, all right, let's do something a little bit more vigorous, a little bit harder. And we had a really cool pose that we did. And it's one of those ones where you look at it and you're like, I don't think I can do that. And then I was like, oh, look at me, I could do that. And then doing it from one side to the other, I was like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. And I'm like, I can't do it on that side, but I can do it on this side. So anyway, that's been fun. 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah.
Cool.
A day. Yeah. So I've been, doing that. And what have you been up to?
Strength training still, more so than yoga. Been working on renaming our classes, our online on-demand classes, by previously just having it named, like, for example, strength training 1, strength training 2, 3. So now I've gone in and saying like intermediate workout with 2 sets. So just giving more description in the actual name. I know that there's description in the description part, but when you just hover over the thumbnail and you look at it, you're like, I'm not sure what I want to try. But if the name is more descriptive, so that's been happening. So there's just a couple of things left to name, which should happen today. So by the time this video comes out, they'll all the channel, video names will be descriptive, helpful that way. And then we're also, this coming weekend, we're going to help make some of the choice in choosing the channels a little bit easier. We've each had our own individual yoga channel. My style of yoga tends to be more hatha style, which is more holding poses. Tricia's is more of a vinyasa, more of a flowing, moving yoga, but 2 separate channels. But we're going to amalgamate them. We're going to put them together. So rather than thinking of one or the other, we're just combine them 2. So it'll be the yoga channel. So you can pay the same price, but you're basically going to get double the options for now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And lots of variety in length of time and the class that you want to do. Like I was just saying, like sometimes you feel really good and you want to do like, okay, I'm ready for like a hard flow. And then some days you're like, no, I just need something a little bit less. So I love this idea that we can put it all together and serve our people.
Yeah, so you could look for that coming up this coming weekend. If you're ever on the fence about yoga and you were unsure if one or the other is better, then well, here you go. You can give both of them a go. So we've been working on that. The other thing that
can I interrupt? How many classes are going to be in that yoga program, that yoga channel?
I think currently we each have 6.
Okay.
And then there's a gentle yoga, which is in the variety channel. We're gonna add that in as well. So I think there'll be 13 different yoga practices then in the channel.
Nice.
Off the top of my head, I could be mistaken. I'm pretty sure it's 13. It's a
Yeah.
minimum of 13. It might be 14, but I'm leaning towards 13.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, we had lots of snow recently, like in the
Mhm.
last little bit, and you know that we go for daily walks, and in the snow it can become a little tougher to walk through the bigger, deeper snowfall, like cutting path, right, the first time through. So I know thinking about going out, started to walk, and like this is tough.
Yeah.
Turning around and then we do have snowshoes, which I don't use until necessary. Anyway, getting the snowshoes out and the poles and trekking around in snowshoes to help beat down the paths was nice.
It is.
Yeah. So just and purposely then walking a little bit extra just to try to beat down the paths, like go down one way and come back the other way, just to beat it down more. So you could walk through with your boots without the snowshoes. But that was a nice change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice to do those
So
winter
that was fun
activities.
too. Mm-hmm.
Something a little different. I think we just have to I find we have to be more mindful when we're walking. Obviously you don't want to trip and fall, but at the same time, maybe you're used to like trucking along. And so I know I was getting frustrated because I kept like stepping and slipping and almost falling. And then it was just relax a little bit and enjoy this beautiful snow, the beautiful snowfall, the winter season, and slow down. And so a couple of reminders, but it's I had a good walk this morning. It was beautiful.
I was out a little bit earlier. The real gentle snowfall overnight. So like sitting on the tree branches, you get like this like 3-centimeter bit of snow, but it's just so soft, and you look at it like, how does it even sit on there or stay on there without falling off on this tiny little branch? But it's really, really beautiful out there this morning. So slowing down is a good thing, and taking in the beauty of what nature has to offer. You want to talk? Let's talk about books.
Okay.
So
do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
I'll go. I'm gonna go. I'll go first. So again, I'll just quickly go through The Quest of Rose. So the Future Humans trilogy. Now I did look up what book 2 is going to be, and I talked about something about avatars, and that's probably difficult to see on the phone, but it's there. It will be Return of the Avatars, and I believe that's a March anticipated release, which could be delayed into early April. So if we come back to Rose, right, she had this near-death experience from COVID and had a lot of visions, and that she's learned, and she's just been kind of digesting and taking in what she took in or downloaded, if you want to put it that way, through her near-death experience. And now she's just trying to sort that out. So now the title of the book is starting to make more sense to me, The Quest of Rose, in that she seems to have taken on this quest now of helping to educate her friends or her family or the world, in that maybe the way things that are currently running is not necessarily the best way, and there's a future that is more kind and loving and compassionate for the benefit of all, not just humans, but all of nature, all of everything as a whole, working together, the planet and all other beings, ants and creatures and stuff. So she's talks a lot with her grandmother, as I had mentioned, kind of sorting this stuff out. There was one really neat thing. She was discovering like an inner compass, or this concept of an inner compass, to kind of have some guidance as to where to head or where to go. I'm sorry, Tricia, I'm going to totally cover you up there for a moment, but then you can see starting with a dot and then going through a spiral, and then you get into the shape of 4, and she references that as butterfly wings. And then there's a whole concept of the metamorphosis of a butterfly, how basically the caterpillar is in the cocoon and it almost becomes like a mush, that it's like totally almost nothingness, and out of that I forget the term, but the transition then from that near death to this birth of a butterfly, this rebirth or regrowth or regeneration, that cycle there. So she's using that metaphor often. So the loops there are supposed to be a bit of a reference to butterfly wings, and then each of those lines then coming in with diamonds, and there's all the points on there, and then it gets very
sorry, I don't understand.
heady.
So the loops represent the
circles of life, if you want to say it that way.
And then it's just saying it just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. So
on different levels.
So we have like the basic structure, and then it just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, like how multiple layers of life are all intertwined is the easiest way to say that without getting into detail about what each one is.
So she just uses that picture as an analogy.
Yeah, she was just using that. So she's discovering what she's calling tools to how to move forward or how to interpret what she's learned. So with this inner compass of this beginning with yourself, and then this spiral outward and expansion outward through multiple different layers is kind of the idea behind it. Right. So I guess I'm about halfway through the book. So she's, so like I said, her seems now she has this quest of trying to educate and teach others and create communities or groups or online groups, right, of looking at collaboration, cooperation, and things like that. So yeah, it's still a really interesting book.
So can we just expand on that a little bit more when she's looking at groups in terms of collaboration and cooperation? Like what kind of groups is she in? Is it like a barter and trade group where you're like, hey, I have eggs, oh, I've got flour, let's trade, that kind of thing? Or
that's not been described that way in the book, but I'm saying like an online, like a Zoom group, let's say like a group of people that really want to focus on love rather than conflict. So so finding other groups like that and then becoming a part of that, or looking to create more groups like that so that just more people are looking at things from a positive aspect rather than running around in the fear state that where she may have been originally herself in the pandemic. So she's now encouraging folks to be more aware of what's going on, but be more loving and more kind and open to that. And then this really interesting. This book is really tying in with what we're talking about, like love, self-love, self versus self-harm, where we were just talking about that. Now expanding that into sharing your love with others, and we talked about that too. So it's interesting. This book is kind of falling right in with what we're talking about and what we're going to talk about this week too. So, but let's.
Well, before that, I just want to say because of what when we talk about fear and spreading love and that sort of thing, our doors are always open here at our house. So if you, we are always home. If you want to come in because you need,
come have a tea with
have
us,
some tea.
Send us a message and we'll have you over for tea.
Because we do love having people over and hanging out and just chatting and just sharing love and cooperation and all of that stuff. So yeah, feel free anytime to come over.
You can send us a message if you want, and we can find a mutual time. But what else? I see another Ayurveda book.
Yeah, so this is this book I have to give back today. I borrowed it from a friend a year ago. We did a book swap. But last week I told you I was studying a lot of Ayurveda, my course that I took, and then also just diving into some books. So this is the second one that I'm now, actually the third one that I'm diving in. I'll show you the other book next week. So I finished one book, was really great. It was kind of like the basic Ayurveda. I put some lovely daily rituals in for myself in terms of a little bit more self-care, which I think is going really well for me. It's only day 2, but I feel much better. So we'll see next week if I keep it up. But this is another one. It's called the Everyday Ayurveda Cookbook by Kate O'Donnell, who is very knowledgeable person in the space of Ayurveda. I'm not really into looking at the recipes, even though they are really beautiful, but there is a lot of information at the front. So it's just nice to get more perspective on Ayurveda and how you can use it as a tool to really help balance your day. So yeah, I'm giving this back today, but I'm getting another one, and then I've got another one on the go, but I'll share that with you next week. So that's where I'm at.
Cool. All right, let's chat about
our topic.
Big topic of so for the month we've been talking and working in and around love and compassion and positive vibes and those types of things. So today we were thinking more of talking about I wanted to talk about the word coherence, which is basically bringing things together, so they're kind of in harmony or working together, if that makes sense. So when you bring yourself into a state of heart and mind coherence, like this connection or this togetherness, this unity, this symbiosis of your heart and your mind, the love that you are projecting or the compassion that you're projecting is magnified greatly. And when you're in a heart coherence, it's also much easier to give or find or see the good or see the positivity in a situation. And that comes with getting quiet a little bit, just being peaceful, slowing your breath down, contemplating inside and thinking of things like gratitude and compassion. And that starts to bring the heart and the brain into coherence, in that they're at the kind of the same frequency. And when that happens, like I say, then the stuff we've talked about before, where you're giving love or prayer or intention to someone or somewhere else, that becomes much more powerful or magnified, because if where you're coming from, or where that intention is coming from your heart space, being in that state of coherence.
So any suggestions on how to get there?
Well, yeah, I think breath is an important one. Meditation is a great tool to help you to get calm and to get quiet and to get into that level of peacefulness in your heart, and you can bring your mind there. So yeah, we had talked about multiple levels and layers here. If so, you could just at the simplest, this could just be like taking a few moments of maybe personal gratitude for your own health or something magnificent or cool that's happening around you. And that might bring you into a nice, calmer, more loving heart space. And then you can work on your self-love or your affirmations in the mirror, or your zip up, or things we've talked about in the past,
or
sending
love
it
to others,
or the giving of love to others. It can be that simple. You just simply take 3 breaths and just think of something that you're grateful for, and that can bring you into a bit of that space. But if you really want to dive in and learn a lot more, there's tons of ways. So let's start simpler. If you don't have any kind of meditation or contemplation practice in place, and meditation, and I like the word contemplation as an alternative to meditation, because sometimes when you speak the word meditation, people get turned off right away. That's not my thing. I can't go there. I can't get my head or myself that quiet. And that's not necessarily what meditation is for everyone. Everyone's meditation experience, I think, is personal. But the idea is just becoming quiet, whether that's thoughtless, mindless, if some people have that idea, or maybe there's lots going on in there, but you're just contemplating it quietly or peacefully. But anyway, you could look at apps. There's lots of good apps you can put onto your smart device. Like I wrote a bunch down. Where are they? So Calm is a good one. It's got some good breathing in it. Headspace, you maybe have heard of that one as well. If you're on Netflix, Netflix subscriber, is it Headspace? I believe it is Headspace, has a small series on meditation with short episodes about that. And you use one that's called?
It's called Abide. So you can either get the app, or I have it as a podcast, and I listen to it as a podcast. It is Christian based, so it talks first about a scripture reading, and then how you could apply that scripture reading to your everyday, whether it's serving others or serving yourself. So yeah, it's different every day.
So it's more of a guiding, just so there's some guidance, and then you can take that and apply it.
Yeah, so there's guidance, and then they give you moments to contemplate that. So yeah, that's the one that I use, that I like to use.
Yeah, so in comparison, like Calm and Headspace might just be like, you could set a timer to like breathe at a slow tempo or slow rate, and follow the breathing sounds of the app to kind of slow yourself down and bring your brain waves down as well. But there's another one, and I haven't played with a lot, but it is called Global Coherence, and that's put out by the Heart Math Institute. And that one works on specifically working towards heart coherence. And I believe there's some guided meditations in there that can help you with that. And they also have some events that are planned through the app. For example, I'm just going to make one up here. Like they might say like, all right, on Thursday at 7 p.m., tune in, and everybody's going to work on generating compassion or love for whatever it might be, whatever situation might be. And that's where I think we talked a little bit about that, where more people are like-minded in the same intention becomes more powerful rather than just myself. But if we're both doing it, or in a class environment, everybody has that. So that app has some of that built right into it. And then I'm going to throw you, and we'll put all of the names of these books in the description. So if you want to look at them and look into it, you can check them out. So these are some books that I've usually listened to as audiobooks over the years, which I find are really good at generating understanding of gratitude or self-compassion or coherence and that kind of thing. So there's one called The God Solution, which is by Neale Donald Walsch. And these are all fairly new books within the last year. Some of them, that God Solution is probably 2021. The Wisdom Principles by Ervin Laszlo, that's a 2021 book as well. That's a really fantastic book, and I'm going to expand on that one with something interesting in a moment. Bliss Brain by Dawson Church, that's talking about how getting your heart really in coherence with your brain, how you can create this like bliss brain state where you're just feeling joyful and happy all the time, and conditioning that into your system by repeatedly doing these eco meditations that he offers. And through the book, I believe you can get one free download of a meditation out of that. If you know of Dr. Joe Dispenza, he's got a couple of fantastic books. These are a few years older, like 2017 or 16, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself and Becoming Supernatural. And then when I used about a year and a half ago, we had a series and we did some online webinars, and I can't remember exactly what the one was, but in there somewhere we talked about positive change. But there's an audiobook in it, and this book is in the Hoopla library locally. If you're local, you can get that there, as many of these books are as well. It's called 40 Days to Positive Change, and this is by Kelly McGonigal. Now, in that so it's a 40-day program, right? Each day they're short, like they're 3 to 5 minutes. So that's a guided meditation. So the first few minutes, she's getting you into that heart space, thinking of your heart, breathing into your heart, breathing from or through your heart. So bringing you into that nice heart coherent space, and then cueing you to think about whatever goal or intention you've set for yourself for the program. So whether it's weight loss or increasing your strength or sending a love or whatever it might be, then you apply your individual thing to that space. And like I say, it's just for a short amount of time, but 40 days to help you build a consistent habit in that. So that one's really good too. But yeah, let me go back quickly to the Wisdom Principle book by Ervin Laszlo. So this part of the book was really interesting. Am I talking too much?
No, go ahead.
He is talking about if we say the letter C as in cat, the C's of the old world or the current worlds is interesting. If you listen to these words: competition, conflict, control, conquest, and censorship. So his book is all about similar to where Rose has this quest of changing the current world to a new world where new concepts, new ideas are brought about. So the new values of the letter C or C words then coming into a new potential world, hopefully is the envision of Ervin in his book, are the words like connection, communication, collaboration, consciousness, compassion, and all of that together. You could view that as coherence as well. So there's another tie. It's another tie in there for you, that this coherence of all those beautiful things of cooperation, collaboration, working togetherness, and supporting one another rather than not supporting one another. It sounds beautiful to me. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing things in our world take change toward those kinds of things as well. And that all can start with your self-love. What we're talking about in this first month is loving yourself first and then loving others, for sure. I don't know if you will have anything to add to any of that or questions.
Yes, no, I had some stuff to add to that. So you talked about having this, just comparing this time where, okay, at 7 o'clock, we're all going to get on and we're going to meditate about compassion together because the togetherness. But this also happens in church, right? So when we're in the church together, we often have prayer time where we are praying for, we're praying for others in our community. We're praying for our leaders. We're praying for others in other countries. So that idea of, it's not a new idea. It's been done, or it is being done, where we are collectively, sending some positive, and love out there. And then the other thing I wanted to say was that, Jeff has just thrown a bunch of stuff at you.
That's a lot.
And clearly he is the expert on this.
Yeah,
so if you have any, questions, just reach out and ask him.
For sure.
But the thing I wanted to talk about was, how do you incorporate these things in your everyday? When we have a day that is so full of everything already, how do we add one more thing in? And maybe for you, it is reading a book. It is grabbing a book. You're already reading a book anyway. Maybe that's part of your daily routine or something you do on the weekend. So you grab one of these books and you read. It could be starting a daily meditation practice. Maybe that's only 5 minutes, but setting that intention before you do that. It could be habit stacking, as we like to use in the health world. But if you're going for a walk, instead of plugging into like a podcast or to music, can you just not have that in? And can you use that time to do like a walking meditation? Same thing. Maybe slow down your stride, maybe take some really nice deep breaths and send some love and compassion out that way.
Squeeze on that. So and in slowing down like that, just see. So if you're going for a 5-minute walk and it's a 5-minute fast pace before you turn it into a 5-minute slow pace, we're not saying change the amount of time. You still do a 5-minute walk, but slowing down and noticing slower breathing is going to bring you closer to a heart coherence. Looking at nature and seeing it, not just passing it by as you're trucking along, but actually looking at it, is going to bring you naturally toward a heart space of coherence as well. So taking in and looking for nature, you're naturally going to be drawn to that heart space. Sorry, go ahead.
And the last thing I was just going to say was just using your phone and, putting reminders in your phone, which could just pop up a couple of times during the day, like, use this time. Alarm go off, or a reminder. 5 deep breaths and send some love to, your best friend or something like that. Or even on your screen. So your screen can
screen photo or screen
could
cover.
Be something that is, every time you look at it, is going to remind you. I know even my case on the back, it says I choose joy. So whenever I look at it, it's just a reminder, I choose joy. So so something like that. So they can be really in depth, and if or just to like, how do I develop a daily practice of just showing love and positivity? And those are some other little things that you can do.
Those are easy. Those are great ideas. Those are good. Okay, I think that's been a big, wonderful month of positive vibes.
Positive vibes. So we hope you feel really positive and loving, and you have lots of tools going forward to help.
So heading into February, we want to
next week
switch our focus, and we're going to focus more on
breath.
Yeah.
So
we'll get into
lots of stuff.
There's lots of things there around breath that we'll explore and expand on. So great. Thanks for joining us. My mug is empty, but still, cheers.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thanks for joining. Have a great day and a great week, and we'll see you next week into February.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.